You have just learned that force is a push or pull that causes movement, and that movement happens when an object or part of an object changes location. This time, you will learn that force does not just cause movement, it can also cause change in speed, direction, and distance covered by an object. A push or a pull is a force that makes objects move. Motion requires force to cause different movements. An increase in the force applied to an object will result to an increase in speed. An object's speed is determined by how far the object moves within a certain period of time. When the kid soccer player kicked the ball harder, it went faster and farther, and at the same time, the ball changed its direction as the player moved the direction of his foot. The weight of an object affects motion. Observe the image above. What happens with the ball and the balloon when force is applied to both of them by the artificial foot? How about the paper boat? Do you think it will move farther if it is lighter? The kind of surface affects motion too. Observe how the two cars in the images run. Which car has the faster speed? The one running on a highway with a smooth surface, or the car running on a rough road? Kids, let us also study the concepts behind balanced forces and unbalanced forces. When balanced forces act on an object, there will be no motion. Look at the two boys playing the tug of war. The force applied by the two boys on both the sides is the same or equal, so the rope is not moving. The hanging chandelier rely on the idea of balanced forces. Gravity pulls the chandelier down, but the chain holding it exerts an upward force. On the other hand, unbalanced forces cause objects to move. When forces acting on an object are not balanced, motion determined by the greater force takes place. Let us consider the ball used in a soccer game. The forces acting on a soccer ball are gravity and the force of the player's kick. Because of the force of the kick is greater than the pull of gravity on the ball will move. But when another player kicks the ball, the direction of the ball changes, and if the kick is hard enough, the ball may change its shape or burst. You should also know how inertia is related to force and motion. Inertia is a kind of force that causes an object to remain at rest when no force is acting on that object. Inertia also keeps the objects in the same direction unless a stronger force acts on them to stop them from moving, just like what you see in the image. Another word for force is action. Reaction is the other force that acts in an opposite direction. But take note that the strength of the reaction is always equal to the strength of the action. Look at the image above. If you blow air into a balloon and hold its mouth, so the air inside it will not escape. But if you release your hold on the balloon, the air escapes from it with a certain force. This is the action. The movement of the balloon around the room is the reaction. Take note that the reaction is equal to the force of the escaping air. Okay then, grade 3 Globalians. After learning about force and motion in this chapter, you should also learn some life lessons. First, forces are always acting on an object. You have to balance the forces carefully if you do not want to move. Going into the direction where you want to go, you may also use greater force, but take note that you have to exert force to keep yourself moving. And lastly, you should not have a stagnant lifestyle. Laziness must be avoided.